Hello and welcome to the first tutorial for JCInventory. My name's Jack and I'm going to be leading you through today on how to create an item, set up crafting, and make it equipable to an equipment slot. Okay, so here I've got already made items that can be looked through in the demo, but today we're just going to make a clone of one of these. And let's make a skull. So to make a new item, all you need to do is go to the folder that you want to create the item, create a new blueprint class, and you're going to want to make a JCInventory item. And we're going to call this Doom Skull, just to separate it from the other skull there. Okay. Now, once you've opened it up, you'll see in the details panel over here in 4.7 now, you've got a few things that you need to fill in to get this working. The item mesh is what it will look like in three-dimensional space. For the purpose of this example, I'm just going to use the ammo box, and you can see that that is now in the preview viewport. The amount is for how many items are in that stack. So it works, for example, bullets, for example, you might have, 40 bullets in that box. If I change that, then that by default would be 40, but that is all editable for the level editor, so they can create different stacks, different amounts of bullets if they need to. Okay, moving on, the item data. So this struct represents everything that the JCInventory system uses for an item, and there are a few things that you need to fill in. So the first one, the item's name, and we're going to call it Doom Skull. The size, so this is 0 indexed. What that means is that you just add 1 to find its actual size. So for example, 0 equals 1. So if it's 0 by 0, it's 1 by 1 in the grid. I just do that as a personal preference. I make everything 0 indexed so I don't have complications later. So this will be 2 by 2 in the grid index space. Okay. Icon, this is a texture 2D. I'm going to put in the skull. Let's go ahead and for the example later we're going to make it equipable in the helm slot so we can add a skull to our head. Max stack count. Probably want to change that to 1. The skull is not consumable. Or rather, no, for the example, let's make it consumable and we'll make it an edible skull. Okay, the item description is a Doom Skull. Very tasty. Does not like hammers very much. Okay. The pickup class. Now this, you can change this to something else if you like, but in the construction script, if it's set to blank, it will fill itself in. Okay, and crafting. Let's go ahead and get that working, and then we'll come back to crafting. So I'm going to compile that. May as well save it, the Doom Skull. Okay, so here is my example level. You can see I've got lots of starting points because I was stress testing the multiplayer. Okay, let's just go ahead and drop in that Doom Skull, and you'll see all its items, variables are here, and then we can change the amount here if we choose to. Okay, so we've got the Doom Skull. Let's go ahead and pick it up. Here it is, and you'll see that all the things we gave it are working. And it is consumable, so when we use it, it is gone. And we equipped it. Can't equip it there, but of course we can equip it into the slot we've specified is the helm slot. Which is all customizable, and it's just a blueprint enum that you can change, add slots if you need to, etc, etc. I'll go over that in another video. Okay. So that's all good, but you'll notice when we use the item, nothing happens. So, how does that work? Well, oops, make sure when you do this, you put the event use item. This is what's going to fire when we use the item. So, just for this example, we can see here the user is the player controller that uses the item. So that's for multiplayer. Because this is fired sort of outside of the character that uses it, we need to pass the player controller so we know what logic to do to that player that used it. And from there we can find, their transform and anything else we might need. And I'm just going to build a string so it plays right. Used the Doom Skull. Okay. So it's as easy as that to set up item interactions. And let's go ahead and test that. Okay. Player controller 6, use the Doom Skull. That was me. Okay. Crafting. Let's have a look at crafting now. So we want to go back into the defaults. And as I bumble around 4.7, here we go. And we want to go to the array craft with. The reason it's array is because you want to be able to add as many recipes as you like to each item. And to add a recipe, what you need to do is add the array. And then we're going to say the item needed. And we're going to use a hammer, which I've already created. Okay, the amount needed, you only need 1 hammer. But you could set that to anything. So maybe, what's an example? Perhaps you're trying to germinate a seed of a chili plant, and you need to add, 20 units of, fertile soil. Then you could set that to 20, and then you could have its interaction. Consume material. So is it going to consume the hammer or not? No, the hammer wouldn't be consumed unless it would break randomly or something. But you would do that in sort of scripting logic. Consume self. Yes, we are going to consume self. We're going to consume the skull when the hammer hits it, because what are we going to do with that skull? We're going to add dust. We're going to create skull dust. And we're going to build one of them. So just like that, we've used the simple craft system to set up an item crafting. And let's go ahead and test that. And I believe I left a hammer in here. Okay. Boom. Just like that, we've got dust. So that's how easy it is to set up crafting, but obviously that's not a very complex interaction. What if you needed to do something more complex? Well, there is a system in place for adding your own scripts. All you need to do is add this event to your items, and it will pass where the item came from, what container it came from, so the player's item container, or the perhaps the locker that you're looking through, the amount it was crafted with, and the material class. From there, you can do whatever game logic you need to do. So that's a very easy way to expose your items to more complex logic. And they will still go through the simple craft system, and then they will also fire this script, so you can have it both ways, one way or no ways if you like. All up to you. So let's go ahead and just, no matter what we're crafted with, we're just going to print hello. No, actually, we'll play a sound. And And I don't know what sounds I have here. We'll play an explosion. Just the explosion that comes with the real pack. Okay. So, crafting even works in locking containers as well. Let's go ahead and... there we go. An explosive skull. Okay, so... that more or less concludes the tutorial on how to set up an item. If there's any questions, let me know on the forum. Thank you very much.